Lesbian Detectives. Unsolved cases. She's still missing. Yeah, they haven't found her yet. Well, let's talk about it.
They say he vanished without a trace. Could it be a psychotic break or a tragic accident? Police don't know where the body went. Unsolved murders, body still missing. That's unheard. Where's the witness? Lesbian detectives, what's going on? City on high alert, this out the norm. He did what, the who? Man, that ain't real, these crimes ain't true. Then come uncover these theories with us. We live right now, tuning in is a must.
Live right now. Lesbian Detectives. Lesbian Detectives. We about to start the show, so get your popcorn ready to go. Pay attention to the message I present to you, the Lesbian Detectives.
This is Lesbian Detectives. I'm Sierra.
And I'm Elizabeth.
And we are here talking about missing and unsolved murders.
We are discussing cases that you have forgotten about or never even heard of.
So sit back, relax, and let's start this podcast. Welcome back, everybody. I am so glad that you all are coming back to see our little podcast. Or if you new, thank you for joining the little party here.
This month we're doing case suggestions. Just like the previous one that we released, it was a case suggestion. So let us know what you want to hear. Drop it on our inbox, comment, email us, and we got you.
This case right here was actually from our TikTok. Someone DM'd me. She knew the victim personally, and actually, sad to say this, her brother was the one that found the body.
Wow.
So this case has always kind of, hit home, and she
wants to bring awareness.
Because this case is like 29 years old.
Wow.
Let's begin this episode. Today's case is about a 17-year-old girl. Her dreams was to become a school teacher or a social worker. She loved kids. She was the neighborhood favorite babysitter. She just celebrated her 17th birthday. She was so excited for the future. On the morning of March 30th, 1995, at 8 a.m., two young children found the body of a young girl. This is the case of Deanna Cremin.
Deanna Cremin was born on March 26, 1978. Born in Somerville, Massachusetts, where she enrolled at Somerville High. She lived in Somerville with her mother, Catherine, stepfather, two younger brothers, and older sister named Christine. She had numerous friends. She went to high school, and she had a part-time job at a market where she had met her boyfriend, Tommy. Yeah, it's usually how it goes. She had been dating her boyfriend, 19-year-old Tommy LeBlanc, for about 2 years. And some friends wondered if it was really a good match because you know what? Deanna was very talkative. She was an extrovert and Tommy was an introvert and a bit more subdued. Now, even though some may have wondered about the match, it seems as though they really liked each other. Opposites do attract.
I think I'm in the middle. I'm in the middle a little bit. Because, it takes me a while to get to know people. And when I get to know you, I'm very talkative.
Right.
But if I knew around you, I'm chill, relax.
You're very quiet.
I'm very quiet. I try to see your vibe.
You observe.
I'm observe. That's how my daughter is too. You're not.
I can pretty much carry a conversation with anybody. I was in sales and that kind of built a whole nother personality for me. She was always very busy, volunteering at the Somerville Cable Access Television Network, and often babysitting for several families in the area. She loved children and was very involved in the Children Development Program at her high school.
I was actually in that in high school. I had it for 2 years. It's a good class. I learned a lot. So for her to be in that class, I felt kind of connected a little bit because I was in that class.
Right. It makes sense because she babysat. So there's nothing wrong with wanting to learn more about what you're passionate about.
But you gotta remember, she won't be a school teacher or a social worker. So that's a fantastic class to take because when I was in that class, I want to become a social worker.
Right.
But then I had an internship and I just couldn't handle it. So
She wanted to be a preschool teacher. Outside of her hectic school and work schedules, Deanna could usually be found at her boyfriend's home, where she would spend evenings with him and his family. She would study there after school, and Tommy LeBlanc would walk her home every night by her set curfew of 10 p.m. He would walk her to the front door of her house to make sure she was safe.
on March 29th, 1995, Deanna was out with her friends, including her boyfriend Tommy. She had a curfew of 10 p.m., but she would never make it home that night. By midnight, Deanna's mother, Catherine, became very worried that Deanna has not shown up at home. A few days prior, she had given Deanna a pager for her 17th birthday. She paged her daughter, but there was no response. Catherine felt uneasy, but she settled in for the night, assuming that Deanna had just fallen asleep at her boyfriend's house. She would try her again in the morning.
In the morning?
I know, my mom went to that house, guys. I had a helicopter parent, so my mom went to that house and beat down that door. I mean, my mother is a helicopter parent. Still to this day, she has my location, so,
Yeah, exactly.
she doesn't, pay my phone bill, no bills at all, but she be like, where you at? She would call me and be like, where you at? Why you not at home? I'm like, Mom, I am married with a child. I still get checked up on, but I mean, that's good,
It's for safety concerns.
Your younger sister has your location too.
Right. In case you do something to me.
I think I'm just nosy. They just nosy, right?
I have hers too. Safety reasons.
The following day, Catherine called Tommy at home. The interaction was unusual. Tommy stated that he walked Deanna home, but he only walked her halfway.
Odd.
Parting ways at the corner of Heath, Buns, St. Catherine. Though this was strange because he usually walked her to the door.
Right.
He would use to walk her home and then he would call her when he got home. He claimed that was the last time he ever seen her.
Did he say what the reason was?
He never said the reason was. She was only a block away from home. Like only a block.
I don't know. You usually try and cherish all the minutes that you have with your loved one.
Yeah, but if his normal schedule was to walk her home all the way
That's what I'm saying.
to the door,
That's why I want to know what else was more important that he couldn't walk her that last block. And then especially if they're boyfriend and girlfriend. Like you want to spend as much time with that person. So it seems very odd to me.
Diana's parents checked with the high school. She'd been counted absent for that morning.
Oh no.
At around 8 a.m. on the morning of March the 30th, two young children Diana had babysit took a shortcut on the way to school behind a senior housing complex. In front of them lay their favorite babysitter, and laying face up and only partially dressed with one leg inside her jeans and one leg out. She had fought hard. One of her hips had been broken in the struggle. Diana had been SA'd and manually strangled to death and left exactly 475 feet from where Tommy had last seen her the night before. She was a block away from home. Catherine was at work when she got the call that her daughter was no longer here. That is every parent's worst nightmare.
I just don't believe it. I mean, just by hearing this, I feel like Tommy had something to do with it. Because she was literally a block away. She was going to head home. If this is true.
Well, yeah. The police carefully examined the crime scene, but despite that, no arrest has ever been made. Evidence was collected underneath Diana's fingernails and from everywhere on her body, but DNA tests was still not as advanced as it should have been. Because you gotta remember, this was 1995.
Right. When you said pager, I was like, oh yeah.
When I was writing this case, I was telling like a friend about it, and I was like, a pager? And she like, Sierra, come on. I was like, oh, my bad. Like, she's older than me. I really didn't understand what a pager was.
I've never used one, but I've heard about it.
Yeah. I have heard about it during songs, like when my mom was to her old sons. But I don't know what pager is, really.
Songs?
Like back in the old day, like, oh, I hit you up on my pager. I'm going to look it up what a pager really is. A lot was still unknown, but one thing is certain, there was far more dysfunction in Diana's life than she ever expressed. She was, to all appearance, as a bright spot, but it was darkness surrounding her.
Right.
One of the first suspects to be considered is Michael Cremin.
The stepdad?
Diana's stepfather. Tension within the home was at high because Michael was an alcoholic and he used drugs. It had been reported by Catherine that her husband was violent, one time pulling a gun on her older daughter and killing her cat in a separate scene. Catherine, she endured physical abuse at the hands of her husband. She also volunteered that at the time directly before her daughter murder that she and Diana had been stashing away and hiding money that she'd been collecting from her child support payment made by her ex-husband, Deanna's bio father. Whether this was to change their living situation or to simply keep the money from being used by Michael, she believed that he was dangerous and certainly capable of such a crime. The most obvious suspect to police and the most onlookers of this case is Deanna's boyfriend. It was only after Deanna's sudden and horrific end that people will come forward with stories about Tommy, many of them horrifying. Aside from the atypical events that was only walking his girlfriend halfway home, friends of Deanna came forward stating that Tommy had been controlling and abusive. It was later reported that Tommy had been seen with scratches on both his neck and cheek in the days after Deanna was murdered, and that he did not attend her funeral.
What?
Catherine said that her daughter was very serious about breaking up with Tommy, that his possessive and awkward behavior made him more than suspicious. During the grand jury trial for Deanna's murder, both Tommy and his alibi witness friend Jason pled the fifth.
It's a red flag.
Very. Tommy seemed to have a violent streak at home as well. His own mother filed a restraining order against him in the months after the murder.
His own mother filed a restraining order against him. So he is crazier than her stepfather.
This was not the only incident either. Tommy's mother suffered from multiple sclerosis. He is said to be physically violent with her often, one time tipping her over in her wheelchair when she was sitting in it.
His mom?
His own mom. Another suspect considered in this case include fireman Charlie Houghton, a rapist and a sex fiend known in the area, but unnamed by the news. So like the news kept him out probably because of his family.
Oh, yeah. And his status. He was a firefighter.
Deanna and Charlie had a relationship of sorts, flirting with one another. He was also said to be helping her prepare for her driver's license. Deanna's younger brother Mark had told his mother that he had seen Diana and the nice fireman kissing in the car.
Wait, what?
Let me also tell you another thing. He was more than twice
Right.
her age.
Right. That's what I was going to say.
He actually went to high school with her mother.
Wow.
So he was up there. But he was ruled out as a suspect shortly after. Not much is known about the unnamed local sex fiend, except that he was wanted in several cities of other crime. It was appeared he was a person of interest solely based on the sexual nature of Diana's attack and murder. In 2017, Catherine wrote a public letter to Tommy, published by Boston 25 News. In this letter, written on the 22nd anniversary of her daughter's death, she pleaded with Tommy to reach out to the state police department to be re-interviewed. New evidence in 2019 led to the front door of the mayor and city administrator's office, implying that many evidence was concealed, portraying the case back in 1995. The friend and alibi witness, Jason, had been counseled by his own father, an attorney at the time, due to legal work on various high-ranked members of the cities. His father represented Tommy as well. Whether this is a connection to the former mayor has not been confirmed. Tommy and Jason's friendship ended. Deanna's killer has been free for nearly 29 years. Before we end this case, let's remember the young lady that lost her life. Deanna was a young girl who had an amazing spirit. She loved children and she had a dream of becoming a teacher. Her mother had spent the last 29 years fighting for justice for her daughter. We are hoping that this episode would get to the right people and help solve this case. This is the case of Deanna Cremin. And let's get into some theories.
Let's get into some theories.
You or me?
I can start it.
Okay.
It could be all three, but my gut is telling me it was Tommy. Why do I think it was Tommy? Tommy must have found out that she was allegedly having an affair with another man. Because the other guy, the firefighter, was twice her age, I feel like he took the time to groom her, and I don't believe that he wanted to just one time type thing. I feel like the person that had the biggest motive was Tommy. If he found out she was about to leave him, so he was like, look, if you can't be mine, you can't be anybody else's type thing. And then he took her body, thinking that he had some sort of control. I think it was Tommy. So not to judge anybody, but Deanne's mom also didn't give her the best stepfather. I understand that now she wants to find the culprit, but it could have also been the stepfather. She was a block away.
It seemed like it was an emotional abuse too, because he held a gun to her oldest child and then killed her cat in front of him. He was a psychopath.
Right.
When you go for killing animals, that's what they say. That they say that you're a serial killer or a psychopath.
It's like she never stood a chance.
It seems that she had so many bad influence men-wise around her. She had a controlling, abusive boyfriend, in which she saw that you have to think about it for a second. Let's take a step back. She see her mom in this abusive relationship, and then she has one. Sometime as a kid, you think that's okay.
Right.
And I was always told that you marry your dad, that you will go for the type of man that your dad is. I don't believe it because I married a woman. I mean, you similar to my mom in some ways, but yeah. I feel like it was a boyfriend. I feel like for him not to walk her there, and he usually called her because the mom, she waited. She's like, okay, she's not here. Her curfew was at 10. So he always walked her home and called and said, hey, I got home. Just to let her know. For him not to do that last step, that seemed kind of iffy a little bit.
Well, instead of walking her home, what if he walked her into where they found her body?
I mean, it was on her way home. It's like there.
It makes sense.
Because he didn't do that last step. That even though he didn't walk her home, he never called and said, hey, I made it home. That's because why wouldn't he call and say, hey, I made it home?
Because he knows that she's not there.
That's the craziest part to me. I don't think it was her stepfather. I don't see it being him. The other man, I don't think it was him. It's because he was grooming her.
Yeah.
When somebody is grooming another person, they take their time.
Yes, it's a process.
He was gaining her trust. For her brother to say, hey, they was kissing, he already got that one step. It was another step after that.
Right.
I think he probably was trying to wait a little longer because the age of 17 is consent. So he was like, okay, let me wait. You know, he was showing her how to drive, doing all that. He was grooming her. I don't feel like he would took that chance. Even if she rejected him, he would have had another way, you know?
Right.
Because she was getting groomed.
Right.
I feel like it was Tommy, and I see the young lady who asked me the case, she believed it was him too. Because it's just so many fingers pointing at him. And that was over 29 years ago. They have the DNA. I want them to run it. I don't know if we have to sign a petition or something like that. I feel like they need to run it again because they have the technology. It was under her fingernails. They could easily get Tommy, or they can't get him, they're way outside his apartment or house. They would get something that belongs to him and use that. I feel like it's so many cold cases out there that police officers need to look back into.
And then the fact too that he had scratches on his neck and his cheek.
And they said she fought. She broke her hip. So that means whoever was abusing her, they held her down. Like they held her by the hip because she was fighting so hard. And then she was sexual assaulted. I don't know all the DNA that they had, but I wonder why the police never really went back for Tommy and got his DNA.
Right.
Because it seemed like that was, but also Tommy can be like, oh, like that was my girlfriend. We had rough sex. So he could easily say that. Like that's why her finger.
But to break a hip and then find her face down, no. If you say that, that's...
I'm just saying what he can lie and say about. I'm not saying that it's that people, killers or criminals, they lie easily about the easiest thing that can be proven wrong.
But I feel like that's incriminating.
They don't care. They're like, just like, oh, like I want to, they think they're smart, It seemed for him to abuse his mom, and his mom was like, I am done with him, and she got a restraining order against him. That should tell you everything, what kind of man it is.
Right.
Your mom is sick, and you push her out the chair. That's one thing that we know about.
Right.
We don't know about the rest that happened behind closed door.
It appeared he didn't have an emotional connection or an emotional side. Like, he doesn't have empathy.
I wonder, did he know that she was cheating on him? Because her mom said that he was very possessive over her and was abusive. A person, and was very controlling too. A person like that, he will watch her. If she's not like at his beck and call, he'd be like, okay, who you with? And definitely an older man like that have everything that he need and want, He live with his mama. This man got his own house and stuff like that, a car. We don't know what he have, but Tommy doesn't have what the older man can have.
Right. Access to more money, a vehicle, everything, honestly.
I wonder, because the brother said it to the mom. I wonder if the brother ever accidentally said it to Tommy if he was around. Or Tommy might have heard it. That's another thought. I feel like Tommy probably knew she was cheating on him. Or what if, think about it, okay? Another scenario. Stay with me. What if she broke up with him that night? Her mom said that she was going to break up. What if she was on her way home, like trying to get it, like, I'm done breaking with you. And he probably sat there, got mad and got more mad and ran after her.
It's a possibility.
Because it's this, who the F did I marry? And I remember when she broke up with her boyfriend, one of the cases, he beat her, he SA'd her before she went away. Because he said, you're still mine, before, she finally left. Because that's a sad case.
Yeah. And that's kind of, in the beginning, what I was trying to get at when I was like, she was probably trying to leave him, and he took over her body, or control over her body. I think it was Tommy.
I feel like I just want the police to run the DNA. Run that DNA. I feel like it's been so many cases that have said that line.
Yeah.
Like, run that DNA. I feel like we have the technology now. We should be able to run the DNA to find their murder. It's been 29 years.
Right.
This case is older than me by just a year. I mean, yeah. Some young guys. But it's just sad. I hope she get the justice that she deserves. Because her mom, let me tell you something, my mom is fighting. That is a mother. She is fighting. For 29 years, she is going at the police. She's going here. She's going there, trying to solve her daughter's case. Every year, the young lady told me that every year, they have a walk in her memory. And I feel like because her case is so popular, I wonder where the police is at on solving it. Because if you have so much DNA, because it was all over her body. It was everywhere. On her, I think the fingernail was the most important thing.
Right.
Because it could have been Tommy, because he had the scratches on his face. I wonder.
And then he didn't attend the funeral.
He didn't attend nothing. Everybody said he didn't turn nothing. If that was my girlfriend, she was brutally murdered. I'm everywhere.
Right.
I'm wearing the shirt.
I'm trying to look for them.
Right. I'm everywhere to be seen. I am everywhere. You be like, where's Sierra? Right here. Right here.
I ain't hiding.
Because that's 2 years. I was scared for 2 years. That's love.
And then the guilt would have gotten me too. Like, dang, if I only had walked her that one block, it could have made a difference, according to his story.
For his friend and him to just fall out after the murder, that tells you another thing.
Right.
Because his friend was like, his friend father probably did tell him, like, hey, plead the fifth. Don't say nothing about what you know, because it could have hurt him in the long run.
Is there any future girlfriends that maybe went through the same thing?
They had to. Because he's not going to stop after her. He probably didn't.
Is there anything known?
Not what she have told me about him, but I didn't know. He's very hush hush. Like, you really don't see him a lot.
He's hiding.
To me, I don't know. I feel like this is the only case that I have to say that, I feel like I know who hurt her. Like, the other ones, I'm like,
Right.
But this, I'm like, okay, it's too many stuff against him.
Right.
And I'm thinking about the time. I wonder how far the walk was from her house to his house. Because if you do that, you can see, okay, what time was she left? Because she would have left, say the house, it was 10-minute walk. She would have left about 10 minutes before. I wonder if anybody was out there, well, actually, I didn't say this in the case. And the nursing home, they said they heard people talking, but they didn't hear no screaming or anything like that. They didn't think nothing of it. They didn't hear no screaming because they were like right beside it. But they said they didn't hear anything after that because she would have screamed. How she fought, she would have screamed.
Well, she was probably already to wherever they murdered her.
This is a sad, sad case.
Yeah.
And it's just hard. Well, this is our case. And this is our theories. Don't forget, if you want me to do a case, I have one more spot left. I'm still trying to figure out what's the last person going to be. So, go ahead. Send me a little DM. We check our DMs. That's how we got this case. I check our YouTube comments since I got the case before. Like, I own it, guys. I'm really on it. In the description below of our videos, we have the case suggestion and we also have our email. If you're comfortable just emailing us and telling us the case and why, that's fine. Follow us on all social medias. We are on TikTok and TikTok's about to get banned, so we have to find another place where we do.
They're saying Illuminate.
Illuminate, yeah, I have to make our account over there. So,
But in the meantime, we got Instagram, YouTube,
Facebook,
Blue Sky.
everywhere. Oh yeah, we have Blue Sky. I made it a Blue Sky. Like, subscribe, comment. Come on, guys, like and subscribe and comment. Follow us on Apple. Follow us on Spotify. I also said that I was gonna do a shout out to a person that sent us a review on Apple or Spotify. We have a review from JoJo Warren. They said unique cases and interesting viewpoints.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We try to keep it new because I know when I listen to podcasts, it's like the same case over and over again. I want to bring out more and different cases that speaks to me.
We want to pick your mind or share our thoughts to make it a little bit more intriguing, a little bit more like you know us, like we're a part of the case as well.
Also, I have to put out a big shout out to Dominque. She's in the local DFW area and we are shouting her out today. She does customized boxes, treats. We actually had her to do some for our daughter's birthday. And let me tell you something. It was a 10 out of 10. She was amazing. She worked very hard because as a parent, I tried to DIY that. Couldn't do it.
It's not for us.
Not for us. I YouTube it, TikTok it. Not for us.
She is very talented and the products that she uses are super high quality and you will never go wrong with her. Honestly, I was impressed. 10 out of 10.
We will use her again in the future. For sure, we stand by this, guys. We're going to link her in the description so you can follow her on her social medias and comment her. And let me tell you one thing. She ships. She ships. So if you somewhere far away, she's shipping to you. So I put her information in the description below. Go hit her up. Tell her Lesbian Detectives sent you. And this is Lesbian Detectives. I'm Sierra.
And I'm Elizabeth.
Everybody's a suspect.
Until proven innocent.
See you later.
Lesbian Detectives. Unsolved cases. She's still missing. Yeah, they haven't found her yet. Well, let's talk about it.
They say he vanished without a trace. Could it be a psychotic break or a tragic accident? Police don't know where the body went. Unsolved murders, body still missing. That's unheard. Where's the witness? Lesbian detectives, what's going on? City on high alert, this out the norm. He did what, the who? Man, that ain't real, these crimes ain't true. Then come uncover these theories with us. We live right now, tuning in is a must.
Right now. Lesbian Detectives. Lesbian Detectives. We about to start the show, so get your popcorn ready. Let's go. Pay attention to the message I present to you, the Lesbian Detectives.